Welcome to the milk bar. 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 Welcome to the milk bar.
Welcome along to episode 714 of the Milk Bar. Jason Forrest here with you as ever. And coming up on the show this week, we've got a treat for you. Andy Reis from Beyond the Barricade will be letting us know all about their appearance at the Prince of Wales in Cannock. They're going to be there in April. It's going to be well worth a look. We'll let you know what they've got in store for you. We'll be talking to the team behind the full Monty from Walsall Operatic. They're also at the Prince of Wales. That one's coming up in March, so make sure you stay with us for that. Talking to the boys and the girls from the show. On top of that, Laura Hamilton joins us as we talk about some amazing holidays. You know her from A Place in the Sun. She is going to be talking about some of the great ways you can explore if you're looking at getting away this year. And also, we'll be finding out about West Hollywood as a destination too, as we hear about a recording studio in a hotel that's been there for 60 years. That's all coming up on the show this week. Beyond the Barricade are preparing to do their thing at the Prince of Wales in Cannock. It'll be an amazing evening. It's a Saturday night. It's the 22nd of April, and I'm joined by one of their number to tell us more. Andy Reis, how are you, sir?
I'm good, thank you, Jason. Good to see you, talk to you. Yes, absolutely fine. Thanks.
It's good to have a bit of a catch up because we haven't had a chance to have a natter for ages.
We haven't. No.
I think it's 12 months ago. It was possibly 2 years ago when you were doing a gig. I think that you were preparing to go back out on the road after that lockdown thing, weren't you? Last time we spoke.
Yeah. Which thankfully is a distant memory now. But yeah, it's good. It's good to be back out there. We've had a cracking time, kind of revisiting what we used to do and getting back to it again and. Get used to sitting behind the wheel of the car and driving up and down the motorway. So, yeah, all good.
I mean, Cannock is a local one for you. The rest of the gang have to travel a bit further, but I suppose you all try and get at least one gig in somewhere near home a year, don't you?
That's it, yeah. I mean, David, who I do the gig with, David Forrest, he's had his one, Tunbridge Wells, so that was it. And where else are we? We're down in Truro, but we have no one from Truro, thank goodness, who's travelling that far. So we've all got a few miles to do on Wednesday. But yeah, Cannock for me, it's back on my old tread the boards there in the amateur dramatic days. So it's great to be back. Always is. Always.
And of course, I mean, those amateur dramatic days were before the hugely successful professional career, and that is ongoing. And is this like on the 22nd of April? Is it like 22 years you've been doing this? Something crazy now? Come on, what is it?
It's ridiculously 24.
Really?
So,
is it that many?
1999, we kind of went out on the road for the first time as a tour. We did do a couple before that. We did do one or two gigs over the years before that. But 99 was the first tour that we ever did, and so this is actually our 24th year.
You don't look old enough.
I know. I was just going to say that. People come see us saying you can't be going 24 years. It's not as easy as it was, but it's still as enjoyable as it was.
And there's still the demand for it. And the thing that I love about what you do when you go and see Beyond the Barricade, you will get your favourites. There's bound to be a bit of Miss Saigon in there as well. There's Beyond the Barricade. There's the whole Les Mis thing, but you will also mix it up and do a few different shows. And you like to do some of the newer shows and a few different ones. It won't be long before Back to the Future's in there, I'm going to guess.
Do you know what? It ends Act 1.
Really? There you go. Good guess.
Yes. Yeah, we do a bit of Back to the Future at the end of Act 1. So there you go. Yeah, we just started putting it in a couple of months back. Yeah.
Your finger absolutely on the pulse of what's going on in musical theatre to this day.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. We like to do that. And it gives us an opportunity as well to kind of get away. Not that we ever, we would never neglect that massive kind of musical theatre powerhouse musicals that came out of the 80s and the 90s, that they will always be in our show. The Phantoms, as you said, the Miss Saigons, the Les Mis, but there's some fantastic new material. Great new musicals that come out over the last few years, and it gives us an opportunity to do that as well. And
what I like is it really does showcase the talent that is there in the group, yourself and Dave, and then the ladies in the group. They've changed on and off over the years, but you kind of got a pool of other stars who've been in Les Mis on stage who join you.
That's right. Yes, I mean Katie Leeming is still with us. She's still in the show. But recently, most recently, those of you that would have seen the show over the last year or so would have seen Poppy. Poppy went off to do another musical, which is great. You know, we're thrilled to bits for her to get to tread the boards like in a full-time musical. She's just finished that, but she's waiting on an audition for some London shows. So at the moment, we've got in Sarah Ryan, which is brilliant for us because both myself and David were cast in Les Mis at the same time as Sarah. So we were all in the same production of Les Mis together.
Reunion
And
Central.
yeah, and Sarah went off to do. I mean, she was a wonderful Cosette. She was a fantastic Christine in Phantom of the Opera, and so it's great to be able to go, hey, come and do this. Come and be on our show for a bit. So we've got her for the best part of this year, which we're absolutely thrilled about.
So it means she will be there on the 22nd of April in Cannock.
She will be, yeah.
And so this is the main Midlands gig, isn't it, this year?
It is, yes, it is. I mean, it's always a big one for us. You know, to go back home, kind of speak, because I was born and bred in Hensford.
Mm-hmm.
So for me to be anywhere near there and to just kind of revisit and relive the place that kind of kick-started it all for me, really. You know, I got Kingsmead School in Hensford, and I got the Prince Wales Theatre in Cannock, where it all began, you know, where I got that little bug of going on and having a sing with all of these strange people that love musical theatre. It was an eye-opener, and yeah, so for me to go back and do that, it's wonderful.
Yeah, but you don't just sing. You and your musical talents do not stop at the vocal range. They continue through the instrumentation too. And this is the other great thing, live music throughout.
Yes, it is. Yes, to this day, you know, we're still holding back on us wearing these things and the click tracks with the band, you know. So I think it just leaves us that kind of interpretation in the show, so it never varies that much. Obviously, we can't just suddenly change songs.
Yeah, but you wouldn't know what to do with your hands. It'd be a bit like the Riverdance scenario, wouldn't it, if you wasn't up playing the keys?
It's absolutely right. Yeah. Somebody's take my keyboard away from me. I mean, yeah, I don't know, but it does give us that kind of, you know, that live feel means that we can pull things around. We can the rallentandos and the crescendos can be as we want them to be. So every show that we do is different. You know, it's never the same from one night to the next, really.
Yeah, it's not churned out. It is handcrafted, finest quality musical theatre, even with some actions as well. And it is an awesome experience. Beyond the Barricade are truly talented. Andy just has to sit there and take it when I say things like this. But you know, it wouldn't have been a success for the last 24 years if it wasn't the case. And you are absolutely phenomenal, top of the game in the industry.
Yeah, well, thank you very much. I mean, we sometimes kind of have to kind of take a look back. And I tell you what, as well, just to come back after the pandemic and the audiences are still there, that meant the world to us, because you did get that feeling that, you know, is it ever going to completely recover again? And it's incredible. You know, Jason, we look now out the audience and we're seeing these people out there and they've got through the pandemic, and now they're being faced with the hikes in the fuel and the, you know, the heating and
and that hits you as well when you're traveling too.
It does, but you know what, we've got these people that are still out there, and for us to be able to give them something as well, that they're bothering to come and see us, and so it means the world to us, you know, because we've been through it once and now we're going through it again, kind of thing. So it's great.
It's going to be an awesome night. Now, when it comes to getting tickets, online at the moment isn't working quite as well as it could do. So if you're looking out for tickets, the best thing to do is phone the box office, isn't it?
It is, yes. We discovered a little glitch in the Prince of Wales system over the last few days, and it's certainly not working at all. And I know that the team at the Prince of Wales and the people that are responsible for the website are working to try and get it right. But at the moment, they've kind of shifted some tickets to an off-site sales, you know, group, and it's not working. it's not showing that the seats are for sale, and it actually looks as though there are about 2 seats left, something
And
like
then
that.
it will be like that by the 22nd, but
Yes,
22nd
will.
of April, it will be 1 or 2 seats left
So
if you're
phone
lucky.
the box office, phone the box office, and get your tickets that way for the time being.
01543 578762. 01543 578762. Have a chat with the team over there at the Prince of Wales in Cannock and get yourself along to see Beyond the Barricade. It is always a treat. It is an absolutely amazing night of music. And although we've teased a few things, you never know quite what you're going to get with these guys because they are always mixing it up and making it special. You keep up that good work. I look forward to the 60th anniversary tour. Meanwhile, we've got the 24th anniversary, which you want to be enjoying down at the Prince of Wales on Saturday, the 22nd of April. And you have a brilliant time, break a leg, and make sure your keyboard's in full operation.
I will do. You too, Jason. Take it easy.
When Walsall Operatic are next on stage, costumes are optional, well, except maybe for keeping a hat on, because they are performing the full Monty. I'm joined now by 3 of the boys who are going to be doing that thing at the end, and they are going to be enjoying the show, I think, aren't you? Hello, lads.
Yeah, hello.
Hi.
Definitely.
Right, we're all going to hear. Right, introductions, please, from that end.
My name's Ian Shepherd, and I'm playing Harold.
I'm Adam Merrill. I'll be playing Jerry.
And I'm Lee Powell, and I'll be playing Malcolm.
Okay, let's start at this then. So this is a bit of a challenging show in many ways, isn't it? Because you've got the whole fright of someone you're closely related to who wouldn't normally see you naked, seeing you naked in the show.
Yeah, it's really interesting, actually, because there is a real parallel that runs through the reality of what we're all going through and the show. So we all know that inevitable moment is going to happen. And I think there's not one of us that has got a little bit of anxiety about it. But also, obviously, there is that excitement there as well.
Yeah, absolutely excitement. And also, I think, as an actor, it's a challenge. Like, we're playing something, and all the rehearsals are going to lead to it. On that night, all those nerves and everything that character is going to come through, we'll be feeling that exact same.
Yeah, but the thing is, you have to start it with the trepidation, even though you've rehearsed the trepidation.
Yeah.
Yes.
But then that last bit is going to be as real as it
It's
can be.
going to be absolutely real. You are going to
every
see...
night, or do you think you'll get over it?
We don't know.
I have no idea.
People get a little bit more, let's say, fair about it as the show goes on.
Yeah.
But I guess it's going to be down to the individual, isn't it?
Because you've been in the show before, but last time you did keep everything on as well as that.
Last time I was in the show, I played a part that didn't involve taking their clothes off.
Yeah.
However, I was working closely with the guys that were, so I experienced their sort of dressing room anxiety in the lead up to the show. Mm-hmm. I think by the end of it, they were kind of pretty relaxed about it, and we're thinking about doing it again. Some of them have done the show more than one time, so I'm rather hoping that we're going to love it by the time Saturday night comes, but who knows?
It depends on the reviews from the front row as well, doesn't it, really?
Yeah. It's either loving it or having a crisis of confidence, I think, by the end of it, but we'll see, won't we?
Mm-hmm. That will work. But they're all great characters to play, though, aren't they? And I think that's a big part of the show. It's character-driven, both from the men and the women who are in it.
Totally.
And I think there's a bit of fun, bit of titillation, but the main thing is everybody is exploring what these guys are going through. And, of course, this is set in the US, isn't it?
Yeah. In the film, obviously, it's set in Sheffield, but it's moved to Buffalo, which is kind of a similar parallel. It is a place where they did have a steel industry that did suffer, and there was a massive unemployment for the whole town, and kind of works. And I think the move to America kind of suits the musical style, because it's kind of quite bluesy, almost a bit of Bruce Springsteen style, of that working American class, like Americana kind of soundtrack. So that kind of suits the mood, I think.
And aside from the worry about the end, what have been the other challenges as you've come to this role? Because you've all got to do accents, and they've all got to be the same American accent, because that can be tricky.
I think if you try and work too hard on getting a very specific accent, so in this particular case, Buffalo's pretty much the highest part of New York State you can be in without being in Canada.
But we won't know what that really sounds like.
Nobody knows what that is.
As long as you're all the same.
So it's better to go with a kind of broad Northeast American accent rather than...
You can't do it in Yam Yam though, can you? Because that would be good, wouldn't it?
No, it's not Gornal or Brown Hills even. No, not as fine as that.
Yeah, I think a lot, for me certainly, and I think Lee might agree on this, if you work on a voice that suits the character more than just an accent that suits the place. The way you use your voice as an actor, both with singing and acting, should resemble more than just where you're from. So I think Lee's got a very good characterisation of Malcolm, which you can't tell where he's from, but he's very much Malcolm.
Yeah, and very much American. That's all we need. Yeah. Okay, so you've got the show, you've got everything coming up, you've got the organisation behind it, and you're going to have amazing audiences. So anything else that you feel you need as you're going into this? I mean, how do you think you're going to get through it?
Jack Daniels, most probably.
Always drink responsibly. Yeah.
And also the bond that we've formed with each other. I think it's really important that that trust is there, and we all know each other very well, especially now. So that makes all the difference.
And for those who know the show, the trust in the lighting team too.
Yeah, of course.
Important, but
we've got to have a proper chat with them yet.
Including friends.
They're going to do a good job, yeah.
Maybe bottles of Jack Daniels will help.
Yeah.
That might be a good bribe.
Not for the lighting team though. That's just for us.
Okay, right. Okay, you're going to keep that to yourselves. Okay, so. But you want to get yourself along. 22nd through to the 25th of March. It is not far away.
Not at all.
Tickets. Who's going to volunteer to the ticket info?
Well, the easiest place would be if you search for Walsall Operatic Society in Google. I think it's walsalloperatic.com is the official website, and then we've got a great new website. Sam Coleman, who does all our.
If you Google Prince of Wales full Monty, you get something entirely different on the third link. But make sure you put a WS, a Walsall Operatic Society, in there as well.
Or we can find us on Instagram, Facebook. We're on all the socials. So.
And how risque have the rehearsal pictures been for this one?
I'm pretty safe so far.
We've
got a private Facebook group.
I don't think I want to know that. Come along and see them. Prince of Wales Theatre. They are Walsall Operatic Society. It's the 22nd through to the 20th of March. You absolutely have to be there. It'll be awesome. Thank you, boys.
Thank you very much.
Jason, thank you.
When Walsall Operatic are doing their thing with the full Monty, there's some amazing characters, both for the men and the women. Three of the ladies join me now to tell me about their roles. Hello, gang.
Hello.
Well, once again, as when we were talking to the boys, I need introductions, so let's start furthest away from me, please.
Okay, I'm Easy because I'm Vicky and I'm playing Vicky.
That's cool, isn't it?
Amazing.
Did you particularly go for that part?
Absolutely.
Because it's the same name. Everything you're in, you always go for your name.
Yeah.
Okay. We like that. Next up.
I'm Jo and I'm playing Estelle.
And that's your middle name?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And I'm Steph and I'm playing Jeanette.
Do we know many Jeanettes? Do you know any Jeanettes?
My singing teacher was called Jeanette. This is going back a very long time ago.
There's so few of them in our life. I think we need more, don't we?
We do.
So how do you get to characterise these young ladies who are in a difficult position? Their other halves are going off, sadly, no income from their usual roles. You've got to get yourself into the mindset where they're doing their best and coping with the fact that these lads are going to do something potentially amazing or crazy or both.
Well, I spend most of the show being totally unaware of what's happening, you see. I don't find out till quite late on in the show. I'm Harold's quite high-maintenance wife.
So again, more typecasting.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Couldn't be further from the truth, to be fair. So they love to ballroom dance. She loves to go on foreign holidays, and she's expecting all this. So he's quite worried about how he's going to approach telling her. But actually, she's very supportive in the end.
And where does your character go with all this?
So Estelle's very much, she's part of the girl group, but she's the sort of other half of Jerry, but then he's still got obviously his ex-wife in the picture with Nath as well. So she takes him of him a little bit and winds him up a little bit at times, but yeah, she's relatively supportive of it and just looking for a good night out, because I think that's the sort of girl she is.
And I think that's what everyone's looking for the full Monty, isn't it? So that's going to work quite well. And Jeanette's not teaching singing in this, is she?
She's not. She's actually a very old professional piano player that appears. She's nothing to do with the guys. She's just there. She appears to help them out. She's retired and she's decided they're doing a show at the Old Mill. She's going to go and help them out. And so she plays the piano and gives them a few sort of tips and a bit of advice here and there.
So are you actually able to play piano?
No.
Your acting skills at playing piano are excellent, aren't they?
They're going to be amazing.
Yeah, so you're still rehearsing that?
Yeah.
And you don't record it yet? You've worked that bit out?
Well, actually, Ian Room who's our MD, has said to me, I'll tell you how to do this, because luckily I'm hidden by the piano most of the time.
That does help. It's always good when you can get away with that. Yeah, faking tuba play, much harder work,
much
isn't it?
more difficult.
Pianos are simpler.
Yeah.
And this is a story driven through love, through care, through utter contempt sometimes, and but all of it about wanting to get the best for the whole family. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what we want in these times, isn't it? And of course, an amount of male nudity, judging by the reaction to the ticket sales.
Well, hopefully.
Calm down.
No, I think it's good fun. It's a really feel-good, fun show. And, I mean, we're not particularly pushing it for anybody under 12, but, you know, it's a lot of fun, and I'm sure everybody will thoroughly enjoy it.
It's got that good storyline underneath it, hasn't it, that you can really catch hold of as well.
Yeah, and for fans of the film, and I mean, we're going back a few years for the film now. I remember when it came out. I'm sure no one else here is quite old enough for that. But it is one that it does the film justice in its own way, doesn't it? Telling the story slightly differently and with musical numbers which wouldn't have worked quite in the same way in the movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
The musical numbers are fabulous. They really add to the storyline.
The
feel of the music just captures the emotion of what's been the characters are experiencing, I think, at the time.
And the whole show was flyby for you guys. I mean, if you're building yourself up to getting your kit off at the end, it might be slightly more of a difficult night.
We're just
but
having a ball.
You had a great time. Well, anyway, let's not go anywhere near that comment. I'm not going to rise to that one.
I'm just playing the piano.
Yeah, you just sat with tinkling the ivories, and away you go. What have your favourite moments been in the show in rehearsal? Are there any songs that stand out? We'll go down the line again, starting that in.
Oh, I don't know.
We'll put you on the spot.
Yeah, My Life with Harold, it's my number. I mean, it's going to be fab. I'm looking forward to it.
You're enjoying that, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, for me, it's the main scene when all the women invade the men's toilets.
Mm-hmm.
That's my favourite, because we've got a big group number in there, and it's quite an enjoyable one to watch and to be in at the same time.
And something you're looking at recreating in a nightclub after the show's finished, yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those things that we may be able to draw on real experience.
Okay, we like that, yeah.
And my number, which is Jeanette's showbiz number, which is all about her life experiences and how they sort of compare with what's going on here, which is a bit dodgy.
Okay, right, yeah. Real life and stage life don't always match up, do they? That's the way it goes. So if you're getting yourself along, it is all taking place at the Prince of Wales Theatre in Cannock. They are Walsall Operatic Society. It runs from the 22nd through to the 25th of March. Well worth getting yourself along there. Just look for Walsall Operatic online, Google them and the Prince of Wales, and you will be able to grab your tickets that way. Check out the Facebook page and the Instagram too. You can have a lovely time seeing what this lot are up to, enjoying themselves, preparing to be on stage. Thank you all for Anata, and we look forward to seeing you in the show.
Thank you, Jason.
With 55% of us still planning to book that much-needed holiday amid a cost of living crisis, we still need to make sure we get the best value we can. Somebody who knows how to find the right place to be and at the right time is a Place in the Sun presenter, Laura Hamilton, who joins me now. Good afternoon.
Hello, how you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. And where do we find you at the moment? Are you sunning yourself somewhere, or are you stably in the UK?
Yeah, I've been away working. I'm filming A Place in the Sun, so I'm in between the Canary Islands and filming new series. So can't complain. I'm very lucky. I travel obviously with my children when I'm working. So you're avoiding the British winter weather. But as it comes down to it, I mean, the impact of the travel industry of the last few years and the cost of living crisis, it's like a perfect storm to make it difficult for them. But what are we seeing when it comes to taking a break?
Well, you know what, I think it's quite a good thing that 55% of people still want to get away, with the cost of living crisis, because we do work so hard, and holidays are sort of our escapism for that stresses and strains, aren't they, of everyday life. So, but it doesn't have to be expensive, and there are ways in which you can make it more affordable. Consider going away with a group of people, for example, and consider different types of holidays, so staycations or maybe boating holidays, which is something that I'm doing with my children later this year with a group of 10 of us. So it's actually a pretty affordable way to go and see different places.
And I suppose if you're doing a boating holiday as well, there will be the opportunity to either eat at local places along the route, or maybe even boats with a galley will allow you to be able to prepare your own food.
Exactly, self-cater. So, one of the nice things about going on a boating holiday, particularly what we're doing in France, is that you've got some amazing French markets. Go and get your food from the French market every day, bring it back, kick it on the little boats, and self-cater, get the kids involved. The other thing that, I actually grew up camping, caravanning and going on boating holidays. And one of my fondest memories was going through the locks, with the waterways going up and down, and you're mooring, and then, knotting the boat off on the side, and it felt like a bit more freedom. So I sort of try and recreate those holidays, although I'm very lucky that I get to travel with my children when I'm working and filming. It's working, and they're very much aware that I'm working, so they don't get to holiday with mummy. Although saying that, one of the other good things about going away with a group is they don't really want to hang out with me so much anymore. They want to be with their mates. So when you go away with a group of people, the kids they play with each other, and then you've obviously got adult company as well.
So yeah, that works as a win-win for everybody, and you get more of a break in many ways. And so when you're planning something like this, is it best to try and do it in months in advance or last minute? Are there still deals to be had there?
For me personally, I think booking in advance is always good, because there are companies out there that do offer pretty good deals by booking in advance, 10% discounts, or they'll sometimes offer you free nights. Like, for example, the boat, I know that they're offering at the moment, you pay for 5 and you get 7 nights. So there are incentives for booking in advance. The other thing about booking in advance is you can you look forward to your holiday. You've got like a countdown almost. That's something my kids do. They'll put a little countdown calendar on the fridge, and they'll be counting down the days, the months until we go away. And you can budget accordingly. So you would put down a deposit and then know every month what you've got to put away to save for it, to make that payment when you need to pay the balance, as opposed to going, we want to go on holiday, where do we find the money? We haven't got the money to find. So and it's something, again, that I do with the children. My children are very much aware of the cost of living crisis, and from the home, like, we'll be in the house and I'll be, are you in that room anymore? No, we'll turn the light off because it's just wasting electricity. So when it comes to going away, I'm like, right, okay, well, let's put some spending money in your little bank account every month. You save it out of your pocket money, and they learn how to manage money and realise that that's the way things are going to have to be for them in the future.
Yeah, I always love saving up for the little bits and pieces when I was on holiday, because having your own money to spend, whether you're buying trinkets or a little treat, maybe an ice cream when your parents aren't looking, that sort of thing, it is part of the fun of the holiday. And as you said, where if you were to go last minute, you might just pop it on a credit card and then have to worry about how to pay for it. If you've budgeted and know what you're spending and you're going ahead with working out the costs as you go along, that works as well.
By booking in advance, there's often more choice. When you leave things last minute, you're beholden to what's left available? Where can I go? Whereas if you've booking it in advance, the choice is there.
Yeah, you know what the options are, and you can choose that way too. And we were talking about the boat a little while ago with the brilliant offers they've had on, and we know that when you do go with a boat, there are a number of different layouts of the actual cruise boats that you can actually go on to. So you can actually take all the family, including some of your pets, as long as they've got the pet passport too.
You can indeed. So, that's great. You don't have to pay for pet care and worry about them left back home. You can take them with you.
That sounds like a good bit of fun. Have you got any other top money saving tips when it comes to getting ourselves our holiday this year?
I would say self-cater, as you said. You can do that. Self-cater, book in advance, split the costs between a group of people, and consider different options, different types of holiday options.
Yeah, maybe go for something somewhat different and make it more of a break, because it is a change from the norm in your world. Now, to say we talked a little bit about Le Boat. Where can we go to find out about their fantastic offers at the moment? They're making holidays a bit more affordable.
You can go to leboat.co.uk to find out more information.
And we'll look forward to seeing the next series of Place in the Sun, which you're currently filming in the not-too-distant future. It's going to be amazing. Laura Hamilton, thank you for joining us.
Oh, thank you so much.
Now, the iconic Sunset Strip venue, responsible for 200 Grammy Awards, is celebrating its 60th anniversary. To tell us more, I'm joined now by Rob Grunendijk of the Sunset Marquis Hotel, their general manager, and also from Visit West Hollywood, Jeff Morris. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Hi.
Now, when it comes down to the world of music, you're part of musical history there. Rod, give us some of the background.
1994, we determined it was a good time to put a recording studio in at the hotel, and partnered with Jed Lieber, whose father was Jerry Lieber, Lieber and Stoller. And we put a recording studio in, and it took off, and not only for music, but also for motion picture. And since then, we've done 14 major motion pictures. The biggest one is Ocean 11. But when we built the studio, our first client in the studio was Jeff Beck. And Jeff was a longtime guest of the hotel. And Jeff brought all the English bands down to us. And we started doing a lot of recording there. And from Jeff to present day.
Well, I mean, Jeff himself has a special place in the hearts of the people of Wolverhampton. His song, Hi Ho Silver Lining, is sung as Hi Ho Wolverhampton at Molineux, our football stadium, soccer to you guys. Obviously, you know, the music that streams from any studio really, I think, sort of fills the walls and all the equipment with the magic. And the Grammy Award winners who've passed through that studio, it just really brings that music to life, and anyone who stays in the hotel can probably share in a bit of that magic as well, can't they?
That's correct.
So with these sort of iconic venues, Jeff, I mean, West Hollywood must be an amazing place for anybody coming in. How does it alter itself from maybe other parts of LA? I mean, how do you really get the feel for West Hollywood?
Yeah, that's a really great question. You know, a lot of people don't know West Hollywood. They know Hollywood. They've heard of that. They've seen the Hollywood sign. They kind of know what happens there. But West Hollywood is a unique place. It's a very small 3 to 4 kilometer square kilometer city in the center of Los Angeles. We're our own city. We're not part of the Los Angeles government. We have our own city council. We have our own mayor. And really what it is about West Hollywood is that it's known as the creative city. And, you know, you talk to Rod and what happens at the Sunset Marquis Hotel. It really is the most dynamic place in Los Angeles. When you think about the quintessential kind of LA experience, that's what happens in West Hollywood. It's because of the music venues on the Sunset Strip that you've probably heard of, like the Whiskey A Go-Go and the Roxy and the Viper Room, where so many famous bands have gotten their start. You know, Elton John got his start in America at the Troubadour down on Santa Monica Boulevard in West Hollywood. So the streets are really filled with this great experience that has happened for decades there. And you can really feel it when you're there. I always like to say there's like this pixie dust that happens in West Hollywood. There's just a vibe and a feeling that is there.
It is a special kind of magic. And you know, people go to LA and they think of going to see the hands in the concrete outside the Chinese theatre, and they see the stars on the sidewalk. But it's the creation of all of these things comes from the sort of music that's behind so much of either the film industry or the actual full pop charts and the rock charts, that really all stems from this one small few square miles of land, which is, as you say, it's its own city.
Right, absolutely. And you know, when you start talking about things like the Hollywood sign and the hands and the star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, that is actually not West Hollywood. What happens in Hollywood is more of kind of the business of the city. What happens in West Hollywood is the great restaurants, the amazing dining. If you see paparazzi, you'll see them hanging outside of West Hollywood restaurants. And as Rod said, anybody who's anybody has been to the Sunset Marquis, and you just have to spend a few hours there having a cocktail in the bar, and you're bound to run into somebody that you've recognized from somewhere. Yeah, so
Rod, tell us more about the hotel itself, because 60 years at the heart of an amazing community of creatives.
Yes, the hotel's still owned independently by the Rosenthal family, and it started for taking care of comics in the 1963 time period and moved on to rock and roll. It's a unique property. It's 3¼ acres spread out right below the Sunset Strip. It's an oasis of beautiful gardens and koi fish ponds, and the buildings are 2-story structures, and it's the first all-suite hotel in the United States. So it's right in the middle, as Jeff said, walking to everywhere. It's a safe compound. People come there to be creative. Ties in with, we have a wonderful restaurant called Cavatina. We have the recording studio downstairs. We have villas that go up to 3,200 square feet, full kitchens. We have grand pianos in the guest rooms and 5 guest rooms. So it's a very creative environment for people to stay in and also to work in.
And you obviously must love working there, because half of those 60 years has seen you working there.
Yeah, 32 years. I never would have imagined being there that long, but I've made a lot of friends along the way, and a great staff, and just great people to work with.
And you must have these familiar faces for whom you are just as familiar a face. So there'll be people who walk through those doors that we would recognise. They know you.
Yes, and we have a few favorite guests that come through, and one of my favorite is Billy Bob Thornton, who's an amazing actor, and he lived at a hotel for 4 years, and he calls himself the mayor of the Sunset Marquee. So wherever he travels around, he always tells the stories and past wives that he's gone through the building with, and it's been a magical time.
You see all of people's lives and know what they have for breakfast. But the important thing is you keep that sort of stuff to yourself, because it is part of an industry where, you see, you smile, you wave, and then everybody sort of gets on with their lives and does all these amazing creative things, including performing brilliant music in the basement of the hotel.
Yes, it's a great place. When you see the results of someone's work there, and we had Rihanna do the song Stay There. So she wrote it, performed it there, went to #1, was played on one of our Steinway pianos downstairs. It was a special moment to see that whole thing develop.
When it comes to the likes of West Hollywood, Jeff, we may not have realised the importance of this city within, surrounded by a bigger name that we know. But you say this is the place to go to, isn't it?
Yeah, I like to describe West Hollywood as the heart of Los Angeles. And I say that both kind of geographically, like when you come to LA, it can be intimidating if you come from a long way away, and even for people who are local. So because LA is such a horizontal city, and people hear so much about the traffic there and all of that, but West Hollywood, once you center yourself in West Hollywood, it literally is the absolute middle of LA. So if you want to get to the beach, if you want to get over to the Hollywood Bowl and see an amazing show, if you want to get to Universal Studios, it really is a great place to center your stay. But I also call it the heart of LA because psychographically, just the way you feel when you're there, it really is the vibe of Los Angeles. When you think about what it's like to be there, it's there's a sparkle that happens when you're staying in West Hollywood.
Yeah, I've been to LA just once, and I was only there for about 18 hours on a layover between heading off to Las Vegas for a week's holiday. But LA itself is such a welcoming city. I found that out when I went for a whistle-stop tour around some of the sites, even in a completely jet-lagged state one evening. And I would love to spend more time there. So where do we go to find out more information? And as you say, the place to stay, West Hollywood.
Yeah, well, you need to spend at least, a couple of days there, more than 18 hours next time.
Absolutely.
But absolutely, you can find out everything about where to visit, what the best deals are, all of the hotels that we have, including the Sunset Marquee at visitwesthollywood.com.
So we can go along to visitwesthollywood.com. Rod, though, we need a bit of a plug for the hotel's own website so we can see some of those famous faces who you've been working with all these years.
Yeah, just sunsetmarquee.com.
Check out the details. Well, Rod Grudendijk, Sunset Marquee Hotel General Manager, and Jeff Morris of Visit West Hollywood, thank you both for joining us.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot for your time.
That's your lot for this week. Thank you so much for joining me. Back with episode 715 next week. I'll see you then. Ta-ra for now.
Goodbye from the milk bar. 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 Yeah. Goodbye from the milk bar. Yeah.